This is going to be my first video to the channel. It is May 7th, 2024. I'm currently at 303 pounds. So, almost 4 years ago, I moved from Minnesota. Time flies by. In August. And I was at 385 pounds. I came here, I lost weight. I want to say I got into the 290s. And I went back up, and there was a time I actually, the first time I got into like 310, 320s. The second time, after I shot up 20 pounds or so, I got into the 290s, high 290s. I'd hit a plateau and just stop, or I'd get angry. And I do, I've done diets like keto and had some success for a bit, but I just noticed I'd get crabby. And the big thing is I was vaping. So that, I'll get into that in a second. But I got married, met my wife. I was, 300s. But after a few years of being married, I got up to 356. So right in October 2023, I was 356 pounds. So, I just quit caring about the fad diets, ate a lot of protein, and worked my ass off, and had a trainer. I've had a trainer twice in my life. I don't think it helped much, but if that works for you, please do it. But anyways, I just kind of hit up, I went from 356 to about 325, and I kind of hit a plateau again. So, and then I went to China for the first time. I was eating a lot. I felt full all the time. I felt like I was overeating, but I actually didn't gain any weight. And that was my first experience of being somewhere where there wasn't much processed food. I didn't eat any processed food. And so once I got back, March 1st of 2024, I stopped eating processed foods, and I started losing weight. Furthermore, then I went on this carnivore diet. I noticed this is a fad. When I was living in Minnesota, I lost a lot of weight once, and I felt great. I was actually doing carnivore. The problem in recent years is I've done keto, and keto, they got all these fake keto drinks, keto ice cream, keto cookies, keto this, keto that, and it's processed. So when I'm just eating steak and eggs and butter and beef and bacon and that kind of stuff, I feel great. So anyways, I've been doing that, I want to say 7 weeks, and I've never felt better in my life. But back to the point, I want to say about 8 months ago, so it was even before October, and I quit vaping. And the reason is, when I'd go on these journeys and hiking and things like that, my heart would just pound. I wouldn't necessarily like hurt to catch breath. I used to smoke cigarettes, and when I was smoking cigarettes, like, you try to run, you lose your breath, your lungs hurt. Like, I never had that with vaping, but my heart would just pump, and I'd watch my Fitbit go up to, like 150, 160, and I'd have to stop. Like, I couldn't do it. So, anyways, after I've quit, I can be in that zone 2 or zone 3 for a while and just keep going. And that's really what has pushed me through it. So, before I quit vaping, I wasn't able to do the White Mountain Loop at Red Rock, and I completed that in just under 7 hours when I was hiking. I can now do it under 3 hours. So it's a huge difference. I've lost weight in my legs and my thighs, and my wife noticed I walk straighter, I walk better. And then here I go too. I went from an hour to 40 minutes. 40 and a half is my record. But because I just ran around. I used to just walk, and I'd see people running, and I'd be like, that's impossible, I can't do that. Then eventually I started running downhill and walking uphill. Today's my first time actually jogging around the mountain. Not my best time, I'll be honest, but I did it. And one of the reasons I'm trying to have proper form, I was 385 pounds on the scale I saw. I probably weighed more than that at one point. I was just depressed and scared to weigh myself, if that makes sense. But the point is, I'm out here doing it. I used to think this stuff's impossible. I'm doing it. So yeah, I've recently, in 6 months, I've lost a little over 50 pounds. I've got a lot of muscle, so it's not like when I've gained the weight back, I didn't have any progress. I have a lot more muscle now than when I was in Minnesota. So when I lose this fat, I should be pretty good. But the point is, I've been listening to like David Goggins and Joe Rogan, and I've listened to Goggins on podcasts, and everyone has. He's a motivational guy, or The Rock. But my friend even said, you should get his book. It Can't Hurt Me. I've actually got 2 of his books, but listening to that book was a game changer for me. I heard him say some of the stuff in the YouTube. He just goes more raw in his book. And one of those things is setting goals, which I've done. I've always been a goal-oriented person, but when it comes to my health, I've always just set pretty lame goals, in my opinion, like, let's lose weight. So I actually have goals for biking, jogging, jump roping, weightlifting, and then weight is just a goal in the way. But being able to do certain mountains, being able to do certain events. I'm signed up for a 5K Spartan in a few months. I'm trying to get my friends to do a Tough Mudder in Minnesota. I'll fly out to Minnesota and do that. I want to do a marathon before 2025. I signed up for a 10K. I'm doing that in 18 days. On May 25th, I'm doing a 10K. Now, I actually did run 9 miles at the historic railroad at the Hoover Dam. I did it. I just quit making excuses and ran. Went up the hill. Sometimes it can be painful, and a lot of people say, oh, don't run, it's bad on your knees. But you know what? When I was eating all those Philly cheesesteaks, when I was eating that Taco Bell, when I was eating 5,000-6,000 calories a day, probably, that wasn't healthy either. So this is a lot more healthy, in my opinion. My goal of this channel is to show you, or anyone that's interested, that it's possible. You can go from 385 to a marathon. That is my goal. That is what I'm going to do. I might not do it before 2025, but I'm going to do it. That's my goal. And I'll show you guys the journey along the way. I'm on Strava. I'm on Relive. I like that stuff. I really enjoy hiking. I used to hate to run, but now I'm trying to find a way to enjoy it. So I'm going with these run groups that I met through Strava. I'm trying to get into trail running. But yeah, some of the best advice I got was get good shoes and good socks. So I got good wool socks. I don't get blisters, and then I do have the high quality shoes. So again, I am over 300 pounds. And the thing is don't give up. Like, I thought I was going to be 299 a couple weeks ago, but I started jogging. So that requires, the body's building bone density, and the body needs muscle. And I listen to the body. I can tell my body wants some food. So I eat normal or a little bit above average. I have been doing that because I'm going to put my body through hell. And it's important to listen to the body. While I am trying to lose weight, I'm not trying to be miserable while I lose weight. So, we'll get there. I'm trying to lose another 60 pounds would be nice before 2025. So if I was somewhere in like 240-ish, I'd be happy with that. I don't know exactly how I'm going to look because I have a lot of muscle. I've had some scales say I have 180 pounds. Some say I have 200 pounds of lean body mass. So, we'll see what my body fat percentage is. But I've gone down 2 belts already. I went from a 5XL to a 2X. Like, this is the 3X and it's loose. So, or a 3XL, my bad. But it's comfortable. So, but I'm able to actually wear clothes. I actually can go to the regular store now and buy clothes. And that's one thing. In China, there wasn't clothes for me. I did find a place for the 2X, but it was tight. It was a very tight fit. So I've done some things that are hard in my life. I got a CIS certification. I got a bunch of IT certs. I've been sober for 17 years. This, losing weight and being healthy for some reason, has been the hardest thing for me to ever do. I've got progress, but I've never finished. And right now it's kind of this plateau mark where you just got to push through it. You got to not listen to the negativity. I have a lot of people, you'll tell them what your plans are, and they want to, everyone's an expert on how you need to do things. You need to eat these certain foods or do it certain this way. You need to do the training regimen. Everyone's body is different. So for me, I know it works for me, and I keep doing that. And when it stops working, I go do something different, because that's just what it is. So currently, that's what I do. I wake up early, I go for a jog. 3 days a week I lift weights, and I throw in some jump roping and biking sessions. Weekends I love to hike. That's my new thing. So I was going to play the World Series of Poker this year, and I decided to put it on hold because I just want to get healthy. I don't want to sit at a poker table for hours and days and days. And I've never seen this much progress. Even though I've been lighter before, I've never felt better than I do today. So I'm going with the channel name. I'm hoping Obese is available. I had one called Fat Guy Hiking, but I saw a guy has a similar name, so I don't want to show up in that person's searches. So I think Obese is going to be the one I go with, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to beast this. We're going to be savage as it gets, and we're going to lose this weight. We're going to run these marathons. We're going to do these big hikes. I'm going to hike Mount Charleston before 2025. That is my goal, to hike that. It's a big one. Thanks for tuning in, and hit the subscribe button.